That was a great football game between two great teams and more importantly, great programs. A lot of institutions can have a great team here and there, but those are two great programs. And what a difference between having a great team and having a great program. And congratulations to Coach Houston and their football team. Battled all the way. Great team, explosive offensively, phenomenal defense. There were some athletes on display out there, both sides of the ball. And they made a great call on the fake punt to get him another possession, and we found a way to play red zone defense, which is a staple for us. I say this all the time, field goals aren't going to beat you, especially in the style of play that college football has become. And we were able to limit some of the possessions to either field goals, give up one touchdown, but to limit that offense to 13 points is pretty remarkable. And then the other thing we talked about was getting an explosive play, and my man Darius Shepard got a touchdown. How about that, Easton?
It's a good time to get the first
A great time to get the first, and what a great throw by Easton, great protection, and we needed to hit a home run. And not many teams hit a home run on those guys, and we hit the home run, and that was critical for us to get that thing to 14-3. I knew at 17-6 it was still going to be a heck of a battle, and I said to the guys, we have to have the best 30 minutes of our life. And the other thing we talk about all the time is leaving a legacy. How are you going to be remembered? In the 2017 Bison are going to be remembered by a group of guys that had great resolve, smacked adversity right in the face when Murphy hit us, and lo and behold, became national champions for the 6th time in 7 years. Pretty special feeling, and I'm pinching myself because I'm so blessed to be the head football coach here with a great administration and Matt Larson and unbelievable kids. Great character. Character wins games, guys. And our guys have unbelievable character, and they've displayed that all year long, so we're excited.
Okay, we're going to open it up now for questions to the student athletes. And just raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. And we'll start with who's less shy right here.
Lance, can you describe your health leading up to the title game, when you started to get back into the fold, and when you thought you could go?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I didn't know if I was going to be back right after the injury. But, I had faith in the guys, and I knew, we were going to keep pushing to the championship game. And they gave me an opportunity to play, and, I just took advantage of that. And, it was just a blessing to be here and to be a national champion again.
Right here.
Eric Peterson from the Florida newspaper. This is for Nick. Just talk about the defense responding on first on the turnover and some of the punt returns, holding them to 3 points. Why do you think you guys are able to do so well in some of those situations?
Yeah, just to remain focused and calm. Whenever you let up an explosive play, obviously the next thing is how you're going to respond to it. And I thought our defense did a great job of responding to adversity all season long, and really especially today. We knew we were going to go up against a great offense, so just being able to stay focused and remain calm was a big focus for us.
Okay, over here.
Yeah, Chase Miller for 740 The Fan. This is for Marquise. Marquise, after that fake punt, you guys had to come back out on defense. Just take us through the emotions, and once you knew Brian Shore's last pass was incomplete, what was going through your mind?
Most important thing to us was just don't flinch. We're going to go out there and do the same thing we was doing all game and just compete, man. That's all we had to do. And when the ball hit the ground, it felt great.
Next question for the student athletes, right here in the middle. Let's go here. Beat you to it.
Marquise, did you feel a little more on your shoulders knowing that maybe the Jalen's weren't going to go today?
No, I was trying to prepare the exact same way I was preparing all year. Same thing, just working all year to get to this opportunity I got. And I'm just blessed to be here. Everything we did was for the seniors, and I'm just glad we went out on a win.
Okay.
Sam Crisatello, JV student-run newspaper The Breeze. Marquise or Nick, was there a bit of a moment of a freak out when the fake punt happened, or?
Nick?
Like we said, there's going to be adversity, so, just how you respond is a big thing, and obviously we knew that we had to get back out there and make a stop, so just fortunate enough to do that.
Marquise?
Yeah, like he said. Like I said, we just didn't want to flinch, man. Just doing what we did all game. We know we're going to hit adversity. All we got to do is attack it.
Back here.
Steve Alston, WZFG Radio. Easton, would you talk about their defensive front? It looked like the speed of their pass rush had you scramble around a little bit today. Compare this group to other defensive fronts you played against this year.
Yeah, that's a really good group, and they were able to do some things today. But offensive line continued to battle, and that's a resilient group, and gave me time and hit a couple big ones, and that was crucial. And but credit to those guys. That's a good team.
This is for Nick and Easton, or whoever else wants to answer. I mean, 6 championships in 7 years. I mean, just talk about that accomplishment.
Nick, you start.
Yeah, it's a legacy. I mean, that's everything that we work for, and all those workouts, all that extra stuff that we do in the off season. It's for this moment and for this stage. So, like the guys that came before us, set the foundation and the tradition for us. So, I'm just happy to get back here.
Easton.
Yeah, it's really special, and to be out there yesterday at our walkthrough and see 200, 300 former players be around, and that's what makes this place so special. And it's not just the past 6, 7 years; it's been going on for a long time. And so we're all really fortunate to be at this place and to go out on top for the seniors, like Marquise said. That was the goal, and so happy for those guys.
Okay, we'll go back up front here, Rob, Sam.
Lance, walk me through the process of coming back this week. How did that kind of come about? When did you know this was going to happen?
I'd say around the playoffs, first round, I started moving around, running and stuff, and I knew then it was feeling pretty good, and I knew I was gonna have a chance. And then just when I got back after break, I started practicing, and it felt good, and they gave me the go. So I came out here and did whatever I could to help the team win the game.
Did you know this whole week you were playing? Obviously.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah.
Okay, we have a question back in the back. In the
Craig
dark.
Haley from Stats. Two quick ones, if you don't mind. Easton, can you kind of break down that touchdown pass to Darius?
Yeah, really good scheme by Coach Messingham. It was something we put in, right away when we're looking at stuff, and got the coverage that we wanted. And really, it was all on Darius running away from that backside safety, and offensive line protected really well. Lance sold the fake well, and Darius was able to run underneath and get us in the end zone, and that was a huge play for us.
Sure. You have a second question?
Yes, and maybe Nick, just because he's a senior, you've been talking about the legacy in this program. There's responsibility to that, maybe some pressure. How do you balance that?
I wouldn't really call it pressure. I think it's more of it's almost a good problem to have, but it's an expectation to get back to this game and to get back to the national championship. So, we take that on as a responsibility, and it's something that we have set as a goal every year. So we're really excited that we were able to get it done this year.
This is for Easton. Is this the most physical game you think you've played in this year? And then as a quarterback, what's the challenge of not cracking when they're pressuring you and making you try to throw it away? What was that like?
Yeah, that's a really good team, and they were able to do some good things against us today. But credit to our offensive line, because they just kept battling and moving guys and did a good job protecting. And but when you play good people, they're going to make their plays, and that's what they did today. And you just got to stand in there and trust everybody. And my job is to get the ball to the playmakers, and so offensive line did a good job, and I got the ball out, and those guys made plays with it. So it feels really good going out on top.
Okay, back in the back.
Max Cohen, Dallas Morning News. Easton, what's going through your head with 4 seconds left when you have to make sure that clock is completely killed?
We were trying to figure out the best way to get lined up and figure it out so we were protected. And so Coach and I were going back and forth on what our best possible scheme was there. And I just made sure, number one, catch the snap, and then I found the clock right away and wanted to get down as soon as it was hitting 0. So that was a special feeling. And then seeing all our guys run out there and knowing that we finished the right way for the seniors, it was a good feeling.
Mike Rose, KMAX Sports, Central Texas. I was just wondering what it's like to have fans travel, not just from Fargo, but across the country, and what effect does that have on you? I know at the Fargo Dome it's amazing, but here in an open-air stadium, what was it like?
Mike, who do you want it to go to? Who'd you ask a question?
I'll ask Nick.
Yeah, it's unbelievable when you look out in those stands and you see all the green and gold. That's just a test to our fan base and the tradition and everything that this university stands for. So, obviously in the Fargo Dome, it's an unbelievable experience when those fans are cheering loud, and they do it down here in Frisco too. So it's unbelievable.
Right here.
Thomas Savanella from the NDSU Spectrum. Marquise, could you take us through exactly what went through your head on that interception?
Well, I know they had beat me on that play, like a couple plays ago, and I was just trying to play it. To be honest, understand the coaches will make all this happen, man. Without them, I wouldn't have did half the things I did today. And the coaches is always coaching us up, so that's all I can think about.
Okay, back over here.
Yeah, Keith Albertson, KVRR TV. Easton, was there more of a game plan for you to be more mobile? There were a lot of QB draws in this one.
Yeah, it's always part of our plan, and but we knew coming into it this was the last one, and so we were going to do everything we could to put us in a position to win. And so yeah, it was a big part of the plan, and guys did a really good job, and getting people moved and just finding ways to convert on third downs and second and long, stuff like that, just trying to get back into a manageable situation. So credit to the offensive line, tight ends, those guys continued to bust their butts today.
Craig Haley from Stats. Easton, what went through your mind this week about how you stepped aside 2 years ago with the Carson playing, just this opportunity?
If I'm honest, I haven't really thought about it too much. This was about this group of seniors and their opportunity to finish it the way that they've always wanted to. And so coaches put together an unbelievable plan, and we trust them. They've been through this, and so we trusted them through the process and let the seniors lead us. And it feels really good to go out on top for them.
Ron Counts with the Daily Progress. Nick, apologies if you already answered this, but what did you guys do as a defense to shut down Jamie's running game?
We really had a focus to make them one-dimensional, and we put a lot of pressure on the D-line, and they took it upon themselves to get a big push and limit their run game and kind of force them to go into the passing game. So obviously that was what we executed and were able to do. So that was a really successful game plan.
Okay, this will be our last question for the players.
Marquise and Nick, I guess judge Nick Tangway's interception or what you saw in that play.
Marquise?
I didn't even know what happened. Next thing I know, I see Tangway trying to stiff arm somebody, But yeah, it was a big play, man. Every time we needed a play, we got one, and he did it right there.
Nick?
Yeah. Anytime you see that 300-pound guy running the ball, you want to get out of his way probably. But no, it was a cool, exciting moment for him in the last game, and just no better way to go out on top.
Guys, congratulations. Go celebrate. Okay. Take your nameplates if you like. Love you, man. Love you guys. Love you, man. Thank you, guys. See you next year, Easton. Okay, open it up for questions for Coach Klieman, and somebody has to go first. Yeah, right here.
Coach Klieman, when you were going into this game, what did you think was going to be the difference maker, and did that flush out today?
Yeah, I thought we needed to be able to run the football and control the clock, and you look at it, we held it for 37-plus minutes. That's Bison football. We rushed it 48 times. Even though we didn't have a bunch of big plays in the run game, we were able to hold on to the football. And then the explosive play battle was going to be key. We had one huge play with Shep for 50 yards and a touchdown, and then red zone success. And we talk about it all the time. Field goals won't beat you, and it didn't today.
Coach, Greg, can you describe an aspect of your team that gets overlooked?
A resolve, character, something you can't, quantify as far as statistics on things. That's a neat thing about being in that locker room with those guys is they're going to battle for each other. They're going to battle for the guy next to them. They're going to battle for the 250 alums that came out and watched them and came out and cheered them on on Friday. Resolve and character is hard to beat, and it's a credit to our institution. That's what President Brashani brings. That's what Matt Larson brings. It's just, Bison Pride and NDSU. We always talk. We're different, and if I could tell you why, I'd retire and make $1 million selling it. But I can't tell you. It's hard, but it's just different, and it's special, and I'm fortunate. I'm the one that's fortunate. Get to coach these guys and have the opportunity to lead this program. Shoot, I pinch myself every day.
Coach, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Coach, you guys make your money on defense. What did you say to the defense before the game, and what did you say out of that defense that allowed you guys to shut down Jamie's offense the way you did?
Well, before the game, we talked about the same things. Make him one-dimensional, like Nick said. Have a great pass rush. Keep Shore in the pocket. He's a great football player. Leave your legacy. And then once we started the fourth quarter, it was, hey, finish what you started. This is the fifth pattern that Kramer's taking you through in July, and it's 95 degrees and it's hot. Finish what you started on July 30th. And those guys never flinched. Like Marquise said, we talk about it all the time. Okay, they made a great call, had a fake punt. We went out there and stopped them. That's, until they cross the goal line, there's no points. And we said if they don't score, they can't beat us.
Eric Peterson from the Forum. You brought up 6 national championships at the FCS level, tying Georgia Southern. Can you put into words how difficult that is?
I really, it's unbelievably hard, especially when you think of, I think 7, 8, 9 ACLs this year, 20 to 25 guys are going to have or have had season-ending surgery. We're going to have another 6 or 7 probably go in next week for surgery. Everybody else faces adversity too, so I understand that. But just next man up, that's NDSU. And the next man up has an opportunity to like Marquise. You think Marquise Bridges thought he was going to be here on a podium with his name in front of there? He was a wide receiver last year at this time. And now he's starting in a national championship game. Josh Hayes is a true freshman that never started a game, and he started a national championship game as a true freshman. And we hold those guys to 13 points. That's North Dakota State. That's Bison pride.
Coach, going off that, you held those guys to 13 points. What can you say about what you saw from Brian Shore, and how do you feel about him as a competitor and a football player?
He's a great player. He's an unbelievable competitor. He's very much like our guy, Easton. Neither one of them get enough credit for the amount of games that they win. He beats you with his feet. He beats you with his arm. He scrambles. He does everything. And we forced a couple of big turnovers. They don't ever lose the turnover battle. They just don't lose the turnover battle. And I think it was 3-1 there. We were +2. They had a great job on a strip sack. But the 2 turnovers that I know about, Marquise's interception and Nate's interception, happened at such critical times because they're in the red zone.
Back over here.
Coach, no Allison today, no Wimbush today, but your secondary really held a really good quarterback in check. What did you see out of those guys? They
just a great job by Coach Shep and Coach Klanderman. I think Coach Klanderman does a phenomenal job each week in and week out with our defensive backs, and we have the 2 best safeties in FCS. Period. We have the 2 best safeties in FCS, in Robbie Grimsley and Trey Dempsey. Those guys are great leaders. They're great football players. They're a calming influence on everybody, and when you have those 2 upperclassmen that have played a ton of football with 2 young freshmen, they keep them calm. And I thought Marquise battled and competed. Yeah, Stapleton's a great player. He went up and caught the football, but I thought our guys did a great job of battling all game.
Coach, you mentioned the resolve. One of the things that stood out to me after the semifinal was when Trey Dempsey said that after, hours after graduating, that he wouldn't have a degree if it wasn't for this tradition and this program. What does that mean on top of you're producing these guys to graduate and then also national championships with it?
Yeah, Trey Dempsey's like a son of mine. Brought him in here as a true freshman, coached him as a true freshman. My family has gotten a chance to know him really well. He's an unbelievable person. Absolutely love him, and has done everything for me individually as well as my family. And I'm so excited for Trey to have his degree, like a number of other guys, and have a chance to play championship football. It just goes to show you can go through a playoff system, still get a degree, and play in a national championship game like we're doing here at FCS.
Chris, what do you think of getting your old buddy Mess a title finally?
How about that? I'll tell you what, and I love Mess. Mess and I played Little League Baseball together, and you can't believe all the people that in our circle of Mess and I, have people we grew up with, and some of them were in the back of the room, to be able to say, hey, Mess, they've won 5 in a row, don't screw it up. And he was like, yeah, thanks. Don't worry about it. And everybody was heckling him and stuff. Boy, they brought you there. Now don't screw this thing up. But what a great job he did all season long. He continued to evolve the offense with Coach Riley as our run game coordinator. to keep adding things and adding his own twist. And we designed that play, and Mess did a great job of designing that with Shep, because that was a big-time play, and we needed that at a critical time for a big touchdown. And to share that with Courtney, and I'm friends with a lot of our staff members, just like I am with Coach Ince and stuff, to share that with a childhood friend is pretty special.
Chris, I wanted to ask about NDSU now tied Georgia Southern for the most FCS championships with 6. I didn't get a chance to ask you about that. What goes through your mind with that?
I do. I pinch myself down. It's amazing. I came here in 2011 and didn't know what to expect, but everybody that I talked to, the people that I'm close to that played, Ardell Wiegand played here in the 60s, and Ardell coached me, and everybody told me how special this place was. And to be here for all 6 of those FCS championships, it's a lifetime dream, and to be the head coach of 3 of them, boy, that's special.
Chris, what are you going to take away most from this team this year? What's 1 or 2 things that stand out to your mind?
Just the amount of adversity we face. Greg Menard went down. He's an All-American defensive end, went down at the second practice with a torn ACL, and it was like, oh boy, not again. Because every year we've had an All-American get hurt, or a guy like Carson or Nick or Nate that goes down. You think, boy, when are we going to catch a break on that? But then you look at it and say, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And Greg went down, just like I said to Nick after the game. He was injured last year, missed the season. That happened for a reason. And he had an opportunity to come back and finish it as a 5th-year senior and gain his national championship.
Coach, you talked and talked and talked about Easton finally getting to start this game. Now he not only started it, he won it and was the MVP. How happy are you for him?
Oh, I absolutely love that young man. Easton is an absolute stud. He's 34-3. Is that right, Dom? He's 34-3 with a national championship. He's still going to be compared to his best buddy, Carson. Carson sent both of us a text this morning, and I know he's so jacked for him. But he deserved the opportunity to play in this game. He played like a veteran, and he's right. He and I went back and forth on what to do with that 4 seconds, and he just, Coach, don't worry. There will be no time left on the clock. Trust me, there will be no time left on the clock. And when you have a young man like that just gets the game, and the amount of time I spend with him, I know we talked about this, Dean, the amount of time I spend with him during the week, and I know there's a 20-hour limit, but we spend a lot of time just visiting. It's cool to be able to see him take all that preparation and fulfill that dream of being a national championship quarterback.
Okay, back up front here. Take 2 more questions.
I know you hate it every time I ask you, but now the injuries, can you finally give us some enlightenment on who is going to play and who's not during this week?
Yeah. Well, Lance, I knew was going to play. I really didn't know on Wimbush, and he tried to go. I think he played a few plays and just couldn't go. Jalen, we were trying to go all the way through this week, hoping that he could have an opportunity, and he warmed up and just like, no, couldn't do it. Ty had surgery a couple weeks ago. I can't believe you didn't call Sanford Hospital and figure that one out. That's on you. But he had surgery. Ty had surgery, I think, 2 weeks ago before Christmas. So, yeah, you have to hold your cards. I didn't want to say anything about Ty because Ty's one of the most electric players in FCS. And if you have to prepare for Ty Brooks, holy mackerel. And if you knew Ty Brooks was out, and Mike knows that, Mike gets it. And so excited about the guys that had the opportunity to play. And it was great that we were able to get Lance Dunn back losing Ty.
And Chris, it's not just that you've won 6 national titles, but you've done it in 7 years. There's something about the ability of this team to close when you get here to this spot. And I know you talked about the resilience and the toughness and all that, but is there something about the execution or how you go about this business of coming down here and trying to win championships that's worked out so well for you?
Yeah, and you guys will be shocked about this, but I'm going to credit Craig Bowl on that. In 2011, and it was my first attempt at it. I didn't know. I was just a defensive back coach, and Craig got us all together and said, you don't go to this game to compete in it. You go to the game to win it. And if not, you're never going to be remembered. And I'll never forget that staff meeting and him talking to us as a staff and saying, you do not go and just be a participant. We all know that. But you go and win it. And we grinded those guys. And you ask our players, we grind those guys through that 3 weeks. But we have the benefit of Matt Larson and Dean Brashani that provide us resources to keep guys around so that they can stay around we gave them a little bit of a break, but boy, to have those guys that full week after we played that semifinal game, we practiced Monday, Tuesday, signing day Wednesday, practice Thursday, practice Friday. Well, everybody else is back home. But that's because we have an administration that allows us to do that. And so our guys, I think, are better prepared. And that's something that each year we go into it. And those guys, we talk about winter camp all the time. When we get through that semifinal game, we talk about, okay, winter camp, here we go. And those guys know it's going to be walkthrough after walkthrough after walkthrough and meeting after meeting after meeting. But we are going to know. That's how you hold JMU to 30 rushes for 93 yards and 14 of 32 in the throwing game, is because those guys were tired of Coach Ince going through rep after rep of walkthrough after walkthrough after walkthrough. We knew what they were going to do.
This should be our last question.
Throughout the
Make
season,
it good.
Throughout the season, we've heard a lot about flipping the script, turning the next page, and obviously there's going to be a bit more downtime between now and next year, but what's the next step to sustain this level of success?
Enjoying it today. That's all I want to do, is enjoy it today and enjoy those seniors. And, we talk a lot about family, and we're a tight-knit group. As a football team, we have a really tight-knit group of family. I'm excited because I have my wife here. Hi, Rhonda. All my 3 kids. Devin was the MVP of the Friday game. I've got my parents here, got my brother here, have my niece here, family. And we have a tight-knit group of family. We have an extended family. Every one of these guys here is an extended family, and it's awesome.